Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to focus on the case where we attempt to create a new order using an expired contract. So we've already got it working kind of with a valid contract. What about the expired contract case? Well, we'd expect an exception to be thrown. So we're going to create a new custom exception to throw from the create order method to make sure that this happens. All right, and so let's start with our unit tests. So here we are, we're in the order service tests. Let me go ahead and clean some things up here. We're going to need to do some more code maintenance here. We'll come back to that a little bit later and we'll comb through everything. But do you remember how we tested the contract service? We created, let's go, public void create order. This time it'll be an expired contract will be the state that we're testing, and we would expect back that it throws an exception. All right, great. And now, how did we make sure that we got an exception? Remember, we used expected exception. There we go. And we not just any old exception. We want to make sure it's a specific type of exception. Let's call it an expired contract exception. Is that the best name? Well, maybe not. We possibly do better than that. But that'll work for now. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is go through the arrange, then we'll act. And then I don't think we're going to need the final part, the assertion, because, again, we expect the act to throw an exception. So in the arrange part, what are we going to do? Well, honestly, we're going to do this again. So we'll probably come back here and refactor these unit tests a little bit later and put all this common code in a single spot. But for now, I'm just going to copy and paste it. And then what I'll do here, you know what I will do, though? Instead of a valid contract, I want an expired contract ID. There we go. And now I would expect the new order equal order service dot create order contract. I would expect that to throw an exception. Now, even if I try to run it at this point, obviously we don't have the expired contract exception. So let's go implement that. Let me just copy that name. I'm going to go to my exceptions folder in my domain layer. I'm going to add a new class. Paste that name in. And now what we're going to do is what we did, previously, where we followed all those rules that we saw in the framework design guidelines. So this is where I stop down and I type for about 3 minutes and you watch me. Sorry about that. But we're essentially going to implement, again, exception, and we want it to be serializable. Remember that? And we're going to import the correct class there. Okay, very good. So what we need to do is create these constructors and make sure they call the appropriate overload overload of the base constructor. So here we go. And we use that base keyword again, right? Whoops. And this is the one where we want it to work for serialization. Great. All right, after all that typing, let's make sure that we're running again. I'm not going to, well, see, that didn't work. Let's see what the problem is. Protection level, right. Let's get back here. We need a public Now let's try it again. Probably should create some unit tests around this, like I said before, but we're going to let the maintenance team worry about that. We're spiking. We've probably done more than we need to at this point. Notice that when I run this, I'm getting that this order has failed, or this unit test has failed. Why is the unit test failing? Well, that's easy, because we didn't implement the check in order service to make sure that the contract is expired or not. So we're going to do that next. And it's pretty easy. We'll just do I guess you'd call this a gate pattern. There might be it's something gate. I forget the exact name. But we're just making sure that if the expiration date is less than datetime.now, then we want to throw a new expired contract exception. There you go. That's all we should need to do. Now if we run this again, we get them passing. Very cool. And that's all that we needed to do. We are now testing for the case where we have an expired contract on our hands. It'll throw an exception. The application facade will need to make some decisions, call back into the domain layer, or maybe deliver some information back to the presentation layer. Doesn't matter. Not the responsibility of this piece of code. It's done its work. It's accounted for what it's responsible for. So we're good to go. We'll continue on the next lesson. We'll see you there. Thank you.